Hey, have you ever wondered how those tiny URLs work? Well, let's break it down today.
When you paste a very long link into a URL shortener, which magically turns into a super small link. But what's happening behind the scenes? When you enter a very long URL, the shortener assigns it to a unique key or identifier. That unique code gets stored in a database along with the original long URL. So every short URL is just a tiny reference to the stored long URL. When someone clicks the shortened URL, the system looks up the related stored long URL and redirects them to the right destination. It's fast, seamless, and to give a project demo for a URL shortener that I recently completed. Let us check out the backend setup first. So I'll move to my IntelliJ for this. In the pom.xml, I've added some dependencies. We have basically added web. We have added Lombok. If you want to not use a lot of boilerplate code for getters and setters and constructors and all, you can always use Lombok. And then I've used MySQL connector J, and I have used JPA for the repository layer. And I am also using security, Spring Security over here. And I am making use of the industry standard security, that is JWT. So these dependencies I have added as well. Okay, so let us move ahead to the application.properties. So I have given the basic configuration for JPA, and I have given the secret that is used in JWT and the expiration time as well. You can always choose to put this in an environment file if you are going for deployment. So you do not need to expose such sensitive information in the application.properties file. And then I have added some logging as well, and I have mentioned my front-end URL so that there are no course issues in the future. Let us now look at the model classes. So we have the user entity first. So in this entity, I'm actually creating a user in the database. So we are taking some basic information like ID, email, username, password, role, and then we are for mapping the two URLs, the original URL and the shortened URL. We are creating one entity, that is the URL mapping over here. So URL mapping, we are storing the ID, the original URL, short URL, and the click count as well. And also we are storing the created date, so you can know at what date was that particular short URL was created. And then there is the click event. So in the click event, we are storing the URL mapping, and we are storing the click date. So in that way, we are actually storing the entities. Then there is the repository layer, which is not much to discuss about. It's basic uh, with some custom queries for the click events. And then there is URL mapping repository that has some basic methods proposed for short URL and finding by user. And then there is find by username, that is in the URL, that is in the user repository. Then, since we are making use of JWT security, we have created one web config file which contains the front-end URL, and it contains the course mapping registry. So I have allowed all the origins. Actually, I have not. I have allowed all origins from the front-end URL, and then I have allowed all these methods over get, post, put, delete, and options, and all type of headers are allowed. And then moving towards the web security config, this contains our course configuration, our filter chain, and authentication manager as well. And in the JWT folder, it is always a good practice to actually create one JWT separate folder, because we always need three classes, three separate classes for JWT. First is the JWT util, which will contain all the logic from extracting and decoding JWT to creating JWT token. So as you can see, there is one generate token method over here. Then there is get JWT from header, and then there is get username from JWT token. This username is basically the name of the user. So, and also to validate the token, the logic is still there. Then you will require the authentication filter. So that is in separate class, that is called the JWT authentication filter. Then there is JWT authentication response. So this is the response that we are going to use in the login section. So in the login, we are going to get the token as a response. So let us move towards the backend APIs that we will be consuming in the React frontend. In the application, I have implemented standard JWT security as we discussed. So as soon as you run the following APIs, like for example, when I go into the auth controller, there is one register API and there is one login API. So when you run the register API and then you run the login API, we will be getting a JWT token response, which will be used in every subsequent request that we make to authenticate the particular user. To keep it simple, we have just added one type of user. So now let us check out the APIs in action. So I have one API over here for register and for login. As we said, these are the public APIs, so we do not need to pass any tokens. In the login API, the token will be generated. So I have registered one user over here, as you can see, John. I will try to log in him now. So I'll click on send and I will receive this token that I'm going to copy. So I'll copy this, and for every subsequent request I'll be needing this token. I have to pass it in the authorization tab and the bearer token, and I will have to replace this token now. So this shorten URL works pretty straightforward. This, as the name suggests, is going to short any long URL for you. So I'll actually make it further long. You can paste any long URL over here, and I'm going to click on send. So it is going to give me a response. So first we will understand this response. The ID is for the URL, particular URL mapping for the short URL and the original URL. So original URL is given in over here and the short URL is given here. I'll have to copy this short URL first, and then there is the click count, how many times this particular short URL have been clicked, that is stored over here. Then there is the created date and along with the username which has created this short URL. So in get my URLs, I'm going to check what all URLs I have shortened, and this will actually give me the ID 1415. I have shortened another URL earlier, which is with the ID 14. So yeah. So after this URLs, get my URLs, I'll go to this redirect API. So redirect API basically does the same thing as it is named. So when we pass in the short URL, it will be going to redirect you to the corresponding long URL. So I'll just change this short URL over here. So this one I have just recently created, and I'll update the token as well, and then I'll click on send. So it is going to redirect me to this URL, but if the URL doesn't exist, it will say 404 not found. So I basically created wrong. I created a short URL for a wrong long URL. That is why it is saying 404 not found. But when I go to the URL specific analytics and pass in this, it will say the click date is today and the count is 1, because we just clicked on it. Basically, redirect is basically clicking on the short URL and then redirection to the long URL. And then we can also check the total number of clicks. This is not specific to a particular URL, so we can check that as well. I'll change. I don't need to change the date, I guess. Okay, we are passing. We are not updating the token. We just need to update the token first, and then we need to change the click date as well, because I'm seeing it is 2024. So yeah, it is giving me an empty array because start date is okay 01. Okay, so we have 2 clicks on today, and then total clicks in a time frame. This actually provides you the flexibility of checking how many clicks you got in a particular hour. So this API is particularly for the same day. I've created it thinking that some people might actually want to run a quick campaign for that, for which they are actually creating the URL, and for that campaign is going to run for about 4 hours, 5 hours or something. So for that particular time, they would want to check out the click count that they have gotten. So that is why I've created this URL. Then there is the one endpoint that is called as the delete short URL. In this pretty much self-explanatory, we will be going to delete the entire URL mapping of the original URL to the short URL that we have created. So I think now it is time for us to move on to the UI part of our web application. As I have told you that I've used Vite build tool for this, and I've also made use of Tailwind for styling, and Material UI, which actually provides you a lot of pre-built UI components. Additionally, I'm going to use Chart.js for visuals and analytics portion, since there is a dashboard page involved in our application. So let us move towards the landing page. So this is our landing page. As you can see, this is a pretty simple design along with some animations which I've utilized the Framer motion package. In the moving below, we after the testimonial section, there is a footer, and I've added some of my socials just for fun. And as you can see, there is the login page here. It is pretty standard login page, and there is one register page that is also pretty standard. We are going to log in with the ID we just created right now. So I'm going to enter the password over here and click on login. So as you see, when I clicked on login, I'm redirected directly to this dashboard page. So right now we actually have one link that we have two clicks that we just created. And in the manage link section, uh, you can actually go to create a new short URL and create one another short URL. I will take one of the long URLs from over here, and I'm going to click on create a short URL, and I'm going to paste it over here to create a short URL. And you see, as soon as I've clicked there, I've created one another short URL here, and you can actually copy it from here and share it to other people on groups on WhatsApp or other social media messaging platforms. Once the shared short URL is clicked, uh, the count increases. Like you can also click it from here. So once I'm going to click it here, it is going to redirect me to that particular long URL, original URL. So it says redirecting, and then I'm redirected to the page. So once it is redirected, the count increases. As you can see, there is the count one click, and we can actually see the analytics from over here. Earlier I mentioned the URL specific analytics endpoint. So that API is actually consumed over here. We can see that it was clicked over here. Shortened URL has served this purpose. You can actually delete it also from over here. It will actually delete the entire mapping in the database. So that was it. I'm going to log out, and as you can see in our home page, once you log out, there is one login button over here in the nav bar. And about page is also pretty simple. We have used a very good image in the background.
So that was it for the demo. There is still some room for improvement in this project, and I will definitely be working on it. And in the next video, I'll actually show you the easiest way to deploy your full stack projects. So stay tuned and subscribe to my channel.